Hello and welcome to this automation tutorial video where I'm going to show you how you can build this automation which sends personalized cold emails to all your prospects on autopilot step by step. So let's get right into it. So essentially what this automation does is it will go and research about your prospect. It'll go and scrape their LinkedIn page, it'll go and scrape their website. We'll also use Perplexity AI, which is an AI that has access to the internet, to go and do research about your prospect and then come back with all these details and then use these details to write a personalized email to them for your cold email outreach campaigns. It's a super valuable tool because normally people are always fighting between how much to personalize and how much quantity to send, whereas this way you can get quality personalized emails and you can also send them at insane quantities because all of this is done by a machine and robot and AI. So let's dive into exactly how you can build this automation. So firstly, as you can see on my screen, there's a bunch of modules and we're using a tool called make.com. Make.com is an automation platform where you can build pretty much any automation to your heart's desire. It does have a bit of a learning curve, but that's what I'm here for. So essentially the first module we have here, which is called a trigger module, is we have a Google Sheets module and we're watching for new rows being added into a Google Sheet. So I'm going to show you what Google Sheet this is linked up to. So here's the Google Sheet it's linked up to. As you can see, it's actually a bunch of information about the prospects you'd like to reach out to in your cold email campaign. As you can see, it has their full name, their LinkedIn URL, their title. If you're doing cold email campaigns, I highly recommend you only target people with decision-making capabilities, and the company name and a bunch of other information about the prospect here. And everything you can see here in burgundy at the top right here, all of this is all generated by AI and is all completely personalized to the prospect, which is all their information is in this little purple color here. So one of the things we needed to do with the information I got is I only got the full name of this person. So what I wanted to do is make sure that I'm only using their first name when I say hi first name. I shouldn't be saying hi Sangeeta Day. I should be saying hi Sangeeta because that sounds much more natural and is like a normal email. So that's exactly what this first module does. So we have the Google Sheet, which we have all this information about the prospect in, and the first job we need to do is clean up the name. So how this module does it is it essentially goes and I give it the full name and I just tell it, can you please just give me only the first name? So this is exactly how it's prompted. Full name is the full name, only output the first name, do not say anything else. So this will just give me the full name and that's exactly what then populates this first name row here. And if I go back to this here, then also the second thing we needed to do is clean the company name. So if you'd have a look at some company names, let me find one that doesn't look right. So for example, we have Pacific Private Money Incorporated. So the incorporated sign is not something that you normally have when you're talking about a company or sending an email. You're normally only going to say Pacific Private Money. So we just want to clean this up so we get rid of all these normal tags that companies have, such as incorporated, or if in the UK it would be limited. So that's exactly what this second module does here. It's prompted as so. As you can see here, it is company name is a company name. Clean it up for a cold email. Do not say anything else. For example, if company name is Apple Inc., then the cleaned version would be Apple. If the company name was Deloitte LLP, that would turn to Deloitte. And then we've also set some rules. So if there are no changes to be made to the output, then just say the original company name. So for example, a company that is just Solus, that would just be output as Solus as well. And if I go back here, do not say anything but the cleaned company name. The aim is to have the company name as if someone's saying it in a conversation. You'll never say Apple Inc. You'll only ever say Apple. So that's exactly how we want the AI to do it. And exactly here, if nobody says SO Limited, they will just say SO. So this prompt worked, the AI got it, and it cleans up the company names really well. And then the next module we have is this router module here. So what the router module does is it allows you to go in different directions with this automation. You could put conditional logic in it. So for example, here we have a filter. So if a LinkedIn URL is provided within our sheet here, so for example, Sangeeta has a LinkedIn profile, Mark H does not have a LinkedIn profile. So if the URL is provided, then you go down this route. If a URL is not provided, then you will not go down this route. So that's the great thing about a router. You can take this automation in different ways depending on the logic you'd like it to go down. So for example, say a LinkedIn profile is provided, then it will go down this first route here. And this first route here, the whole point of it is to scrape a LinkedIn profile to get more information about this prospect. So the more data you have about a prospect, the more personalized this email is going to be. So you want to get as many data points as you can and then pass that all through an AI and have it write a super personalized email. So the first point of personalization and the first point of data we're getting from this prospect is LinkedIn. And how we scrape LinkedIn profiles is by using an API. So in make.com, you can add custom APIs that might not actually be integrated within make.com. So what do I mean by that? So for example, ChatGPT, which you can see here, this has already been integrated into make.com. All you need to enter is an API key and you can do all the actions within make.com. But sometimes you need to make these sort of API requests that are not already integrated into make.com, and you can do that using this HTTP module here. So the API we're using here is called Bright Data. So let me show you exactly what that looks like. So here's the page, it's brightdata.com, and we're using this linkedin.com scraper here, and we're collecting people's profiles by URL. The reason why this is super valuable is because, as I said before, you have the LinkedIn URL that you can use, and that's exactly what Bright Data is going to use to scrape the profile. So the first thing we need to do is get the snapshot ID. So we have this API request set up. Here is the URL for the API request. We're using a post method, and then we're just having the content of the actual API. What we're asking it to do is we're asking it to go to this URL and then return a snapshot ID to us. So now that we've got the snapshot ID from Bright Data, what we need to do is then send that snapshot ID to a different API on Bright Data as well, which will essentially scrape the LinkedIn profile. So we put a delay here to make sure we don't send too many requests to Bright Data. Also, there is some time between it creating a snapshot ID to actually being able to scrape the profile. So that's exactly what this delay is. And you can see it set up for 60 seconds. So 1 minute it takes between each run just to make sure that the snapshot ID is ready and that Bright Data is able to scrape the LinkedIn profile. So then we go and scrape the LinkedIn profile, and it's exactly the same thing. We have this snapshot ID here, and then we have the LinkedIn URL here, and we're using a get method to go and grab this information and to scrape the LinkedIn page. And this is exactly what the data it will give you back looks like. So it will give you the timestamp, so when this snapshot was taken of the LinkedIn ID, the name of the company that they're currently working at. You've also got the city they're in, their about page, basically everything you can find on their LinkedIn profile that's available. It will go and scrape all that information in this amazing JSON format, so then you can use that data in the future for your automation. So what we're doing actually with this is we're just using ChatGPT to go and summarize our LinkedIn page. So there's some information we find useful within this page. So for example, if I go back to here, the country code is probably not that useful for personalizing, cold email campaigns, but what might be really useful is the about page. So what we do is we send all this information to ChatGPT. So this is exactly how this module is prompted. So I'm going to give you details from a lead's LinkedIn page. I want you to summarize the details from the LinkedIn page. And then we go and add some more bit to this prompt, and then we go and give it its current company, personal location, company location, education details, and then the LinkedIn About section, which we got from the JSON from the previous module. And then ChatGPT will go and create an excellent summary that we can use later on in the automation as one of our data feeding points to get this email as personalized as possible to increase our reply rates. And the last thing we need to do is then go and set this summarize LinkedIn as a variable. The reason we have to set this as a variable is because these are in different pathways within this automation. So for example, I wouldn't need to set it as a variable if the rest of this automation was after this module. But since this is the last module within this pathway, you need to set a variable so you can use it later on here where we go and get the multiple variables to write the email. So that's exactly why we have this set variable. It's super simple. The variable name is LinkedIn summary, and then we've just set the variable as the result from the ChatGPT module. So if you were keen-eyed, you might have noticed this, and it's essentially all these error handlers within this row and, quite honestly, the rest of this automation. So what these error handlers do is allow the automation not to break in case, something doesn't work, an API doesn't come back in time, or for example, this scraped LinkedIn profile doesn't work because the snapshot ID wasn't correct. You can put an ignore module here, so it will just go through and continue the rest of the automation, or you can put a break module here. And this break module is another type of error handler. So for example, if we've used too many ChatGPT API calls within a certain amount of time, it will just go and retry it at another point. So we'll automatically go and complete this execution. So it will try to create this LinkedIn summary with all the data we got from this module here 3 times, and it will leave 5 minutes between each time it tries it again. So this means, for example, if ChatGPT, for example, fails and the API fails, it will try it 3 more times over the interval of 5 more minutes, just to make sure the automation doesn't break and all the information will actually end up getting filled into the sheet. I will be making a full video and super detailed video on error handlers, so stay tuned for that. So now that we've gone and got all the information from the LinkedIn profile and we've analyzed all of that, and it's super useful to personalize this cold email, we want to have another data point that we can use to make sure this email is super personalized and we have loads of information from numerous different sources. So the second bit we're going to do here is go and scrape their website. So what does scraping their website actually mean? So as you can see here, we have the website URL for Sangeeta, for example, which is solus.finance. And what we can go and do is we can grab all the details from solus.finance and then have ChatGPT go and create a summary about what's on their website. So this way you can understand more about their business and understand who their target market is and understand exactly what's going on their website and analyze that all automatically. So that's exactly what this second pathway is doing. If the website URL is provided, as you can see here, if website F from the sheet has a HTTP in it and it exists, then we're good to go through this route here. So if you want to scrape their website, the first thing you need to do is get this HTTP module here and have a GET request and then get their URL right here. So this URL here is found in the Google Sheets that we have from before. And essentially what this GET request does is it grabs all the HTML. So what HTML is what websites are coded in and kind of shows all the structure of the website. And it just grabs all that information and outputs it here. And what we need to do from here is go to the text parser and turn that HTML into normal text. And we then have a sleep module just to make sure we're not creating too many requests. And then we go and summarize that website that we have from here. There is one thing to note. So we have this filter here, which is if it only provides a 200 response, then we go to the next module. What a 200 response means is we were able to grab all the HTML from this website. If the HTTP module does not respond with a 200 response, it means it wasn't able to grab all the information. This can be because the website might not exist anymore, might be a 404 error, or there might be a captcha, so it's not able to bypass that. So that's why it has this filter here. So we can see if it actually worked and it actually managed to grab all the HTML information. Great, so we've turned all the HTML into text using this text parser here. We've put it to sleep, and then we go and pass all this text from the website and then have ChatGPT go and summarize the website. This is because we don't want information such as a book call button on their website being shown within this information here. So ChatGPT will go and clean all that information about this website, and it's prompted as such. I am going to give you details I've scraped from a leads homepage. I want you to summarize this homepage and then essentially come up with a summary for it. Include all the information about the company. So that's exactly what this AI is prompted as. It comes up with a really good summary based on what the company's about, perhaps some of its values, whatever's essentially on the homepage, it'll go and summarize it. And similar to the LinkedIn information that we've also got a summary for up here, we go to tools and we just get the website summary and we put the ChatGPT result as the variable. This is so we can use it down at the bottom and use that variable to write the cold email for. And we have a break module similarly on ChatGPT in case it times out, then we'll always go and retry it. So the last thing for this route is this Perplexity AI summary. So say for example the website does not exist or it gives us a 200 response. Then we have this fallback route here, which is Perplexity AI. So what Perplexity AI is essentially an AI that can access the internet and it will go and do research about the business and the person that we're writing this email to, and it's prompted like that. And then we'll also set that as a variable, as one more point of information that we can use if we cannot scrape their website or if they do not have a website within the sheet. And the Perplexity AI module is prompted as such: find information on the following company. We go and put the company name, their website, the full name of the owner, the industry they're in, and then give me a summary of exactly what the company does. The goal is to use the output of whatever Perplexity is outputting in a customized cold email to the lead. So include all the information that would be relevant to, write a really personalized cold email. Only output the summary and nothing else. So this is a great fallback option if you can't go and scrape their website. Then Perplexity AI will just go and do its own research and give you more data points to write a really personalized email. They'll get higher response rates. Now at this point, we've gone and got a full LinkedIn profile that's been researched, and we have all the information about that. We've gone to the lead's website and we've got all the information from that. And if the website didn't work, then we've gone and got Perplexity AI, which has gone through the web and got a bunch of information about this lead. So we now have enough information to go and write a really personalized email. And what this last route here is essentially going and writing that email. So as you probably figured, writing the email is probably one of the most important parts of this automation. So that's why we've got so much focus on this strand here. So how it starts off is we go and get the multiple variables we've set throughout this automation. So we go and get the summarized LinkedIn ChatGPT output. We go and get the summarized website, or we go and get the summarized Perplexity AI section. And we just go and grab all of them using this tools get multiple variables module here. So now that we've gone and grabbed the LinkedIn summary and the website summary, we go and create a Perplexity AI complement. And what we want to do is search the internet for company name, the company website is this. Based on what you find, write a very personalized complement for the actual lead we're reaching out to. We don't want it to output anything but the complement. We want to keep the complement nice and short, and we want to make sure it is super, super personalized to this lead. This is because this is the first thing they're going to read when they open up your email. So you want to make sure that they know you have done some serious research about them, and that's where this Perplexity AI module really shines. It's going to give you some super, super in-depth information about them. Let me just show you an example. We have it right here. Just saw your insightful podcast on charting the future of crypto trading with Solus Finance. Your vision is truly inspiring. So we know that this person has gone and done a podcast and what the podcast is about, and then also how that also impacts their company. It is super personalized, and you can't get that. It'll take you ages to go and find that information for every single lead, but that's the power of using this module here. So now that we've got a really, really personalized complement, we also want to go and analyze the pain points that this business might be facing. And the way ChatGPT can do this is we've already got so much information about what this business does, about what the person that we're sending this email to does. So then we can go and grab and understand all the pain points that people in this industry are typically facing. So gathering the pain points is actually one of the most important things when you're writing a cold email, because you want to make sure you're solving a problem for the client. And the best way you can do that is by knowing what the client does and then understanding the typical pain points that occur within that industry. This is like the best way to do it without sending out a full-on survey, which is just not practical for a cold email. So this is exactly how we do it. I've got an assistant set up within the OpenAI API playground, and I'm going to show you exactly how this assistant is set up. So if I just switch the tab here, as you can see, I have an assistant, the pain point analyzer, and this is exactly how I've prompted it. You're an expert in identifying the key pain points that companies are likely struggling with, which our AI automations can effectively resolve. Of course, this can be switched for any industry. You don't need to do it just for AI automations, but of course that's the space I'm in. And typically the cold emails I send are to sell AI automations. So that's why this is prompted in such a way, but you can change it to any industry and any type of cold email you're trying to send out. And then we have the following information. I will provide the company name, a summary of the lead's website, a summary of the lead's LinkedIn profile. I want you to pick from these pain points. So we have scalability, operational efficiency, revenue growth, time management, resource allocation, error reduction, personalization, business automation. You can kind of pick and choose all the different pain points your product solves. If there are loads of them, then it will go and analyze the top 3. And then your task is to carefully review and provide company details and identify the 3 main pain points that the company is facing, and then we want it to be returned in JSON with the pain point and the description of why it has picked that as a pain point. So if I flick back to make.com here, and if I click on this pain points module right here, which is the assistant, as you can see, we're giving it exactly what it needs. Number 1, which is the website summary, number 2, which is the LinkedIn summary, and number 1, which is the lead's name or the company name, I think it was. We essentially want it to respond in JSON, so then we can use the pain points as and when we wish. So this here will go and analyze everything about the company, and it already has all the information about the company, and then it will go and create the pain points for you. So now that it's picked out the pain points, we go and have to pass the JSON that we've got. That essentially means it will go and separate each pain point into its own string. So normally, if ChatGPT responds to you, it responds to you in one massive block of text. So it'll be like pain point 1, pain point 2, pain point 3. So how we separate each pain point out is by using JSON. So it will give you pain point 1 description, pain point 2 description, pain point 3, and then the description, all in a JSON format. So then we can go and separate each pain point and the description out. So now that we've got all the pain points separated out, we go and generate the emails. So this first email here will look something like this. We help innovative crypto trading platforms such as Solus Finance in Singapore scale effectively with AI automation. Our tech enables seamless handling of 72,000 active traders, ensuring platform reliability. By automating user support and transaction management, your team can focus on delivering top-notch experiences. So what this has gone and done is it's found something that they would probably want to go and automate. It has gone and told you exactly what country the platform is operating in, and the name, and exactly what industry it's in. Super personalized, and again, you don't have to do anything to get this output. You've just got to put the prospect information and it will generate this super personalized output for you. And I'm going to show you exactly how this first email is prompted. So this is exactly how this first email is generated. So as you can see here, we have the company name, the company website, the key pain points, and as you can see here using the JSON, we've only got pain point 1 that it's using so far, and in the future emails we'll integrate pain point 2 and pain point 3. We have the website summary and the LinkedIn summary that we got right at the start of this automation, and this is also an assistant, so I'm going to show you exactly how this assistant is set up. So this is the assistant I've got up. It's the cold email writer, and it's prompted like this. You are a professional cold email writer. I'm going to give you the following information about the lead, and I want you to go and send a cold email. So I want you to integrate their first name, their company name, the pain point, the website summary, and the LinkedIn summary. You need to write the offer part of the email. This is where I need you to be very specific to the lead you're contacting. We want it to be hyper personalized, and we want to highlight as much of these details as possible. Number 1 is the location of the company, the niche of the company, the pain point, which we're going to go give the AI, how this will help their company, how this will help their customers, and we also go as far as to mention their target market. So who are they selling to, and how our product can help them sell to them better. So it's really, really intricate and really, really detailed, and perhaps some intricate details about some activities they would be regularly carrying out, and a pain point that perhaps we can help them automate, and also how long we want to keep this email. I've also got a few important rules which you can pause the video and have a look at, and then a few examples of exactly what I want this first email to look like. And we've prompted it as such, and then it goes and gives us this output here, which is a super personalized first opening line after the compliment to send to the lead. So now that we've gone and generated the first email, which is that hyper personalized compliment, and then this first email paragraph, which is also super personalized, we want to go and clean up this email here. We just, make sure the grammar's all correct. It sounds humanized. It doesn't sound, like a robot or an AI has written it, but like a person has written it. Then the second step is to send a second email in case they haven't responded to the first one. And one of the key things when you're writing cold email is you want to stand out in the inbox. Your prospect's probably getting about 40 cold emails a day. And what will make yours stand out? Well, personalization is number 1. And then also something that, will break the mold. And normally people just read emails on autopilot. We want to make sure that they're like, oh, wow, this has broken me out of this autopilot stage, and it's an email I should actually focus on. And the best way I found in doing this is actually writing a personalized poem. you get really, really high response rates with this poem. So I'm going to show you exactly how we do this. So this is how it is prompted. I am going to give you information about a lead. I would like you to write a funny poem about them. The poem should be under 35 words and it should rhyme. And then we give it all the details. They need the full name, the company name, the LinkedIn profile, the website summary. Write the best funny poem you can, only output the poem and nothing else. And this is what the personalized poem looks like. Sangeeta from Solus, a crypto queen, turns traders to legends like wizards unseen, with options so slick they're not just a tease. In a minute you're rich if you catch the brief. So as you can see, it's written quite a personalized, funny poem that will break the mold. It will make you stand out in their inbox, and it's quite hard to write a poem yourself as like a person, but using ChatGPT to write a poem is really, really easy. Okay, so after we've gone and generated the poem, we also want to add some substance to that email, because it's a bit weird if you just go and send a poem to someone via email. They might think you're a bit of a weirdo. So we need to add a second part to this, and we also want this part to be hyper-personalized. So we do something really similar to what we've done in the first email, where we're going to go and generate and use the second pain point and, kind of tell them exactly how we can help them. So again, I'm messaging an assistant, and I'm going to flick over to the assistance page. This is how it's prompted. You're a professional cold email writer. I want you to write a follow-up email. We give them all the information, exactly the same: their first name, company name, website, the second pain point, and a summary of their website homepage, which we got from earlier on the automation. Also a summary of their LinkedIn page. And what we need to do is the structure of the email will be a bit different to the first email. So we want to start this email off with, I might not be the best at writing poems, but I am great at helping. And then we go into, what we're proposing to help them with and, help their clients with. And the rest of the prompt is very, very similar to the first email. The only thing that really is different is that, the starting's changing, where we're referencing the poem that we just wrote. So this is what it looks like in the sheet. I might not be the best at writing poems, but I am great at helping platforms like Solus simplify complex trading with AI automation. We can streamline user interactions, reduce manual effort, and offer smoother experiences for your 72,000 active traders. So it's hyper-personalized again, and it just follows up from this poem right here. The final follow-up, which is the third email, is prompted very, very similar to the first and second email prompt, pretty much exactly the same. It will use the third pain point, and it will essentially give a really, really good personalized email again, just as one last try to see if the prospect would respond. So this is exactly how you can create a hyper personalized cold email campaign that absolutely does insane at getting incredible reply rates to your prospects. And this is how you can get both quantity and personalization into your cold email, which has been a problem for ages, but with AI and automation, you can, get the best quality and the best automation. And again, this exact automation is for an AI automation company to send cold emails targeted for those services. However, you can change these prompts and, update this automation however and whatever you want to train it for your business rather than for an AI automation agency. So if you enjoyed this video, it would really mean a lot if you could interact with it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.